What turnout will be with the weather.
I know. I'm curious too. We'll see.
Thank you, sir. I gotta just zoom up and down here. Ooh, good stuff. Are you using power or you got your own power? Oh, you need power? Yeah, let's do this. I'll give you this one and I'll take the other one. Isn't that right? Just do it up. Okay. And I'll plug this one in. Oh, it's okay, you're good. Huh? Oh, you're good.
Have you been to Amsterdam? I was over there.
That one into here.
Where is it supposed to be?
What's up, bro? You made it. Good to see you. Man, you missed some good food, though. I got a chance to sit with our two managers and had lunch with them yesterday. At Jolo.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, food good. Food's good.
Do I use a clicker? Or
Yes, we got the clicker.
Okay.
But you know what I wrote? And she said, you mentioned it to her too. There's been people, and she saw, so I was she saw, so she should have said, hey, I don't need to thank you for the drive and she says, oh, you were here to re-sign with the church? She says, no, I didn't check. So she knows that.
You're telling people. Yeah, that was kind of.
And I was going to send her, but thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Tracy, for inviting people out. So Tracy said, don't do that, that's not our problem. Because that's Tracy's domain. But I was thinking to myself, that should have been.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, we should have been sitting now.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? It's like, hey, Jasmine, please don't forget it. You do a lot. You don't do a lot too. So, I agree. You should have got this.
How many presenters are there today?
Two. That shit too was in the store. Perfect.
That's good. Yeah,
Everyone's scared of some weather. They don't deserve to live in Michigan.
Oh, duh. For real. Nope. Sorry. That's me.
I don't know. I am hands off.
Okay, so good morning, YouTube. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. My name is Melissa. I'm excited that you're here. Sarah, right
That's all right.
Well, it's a question on the weather impact attendance.
But it's crazy because the roads in our neighborhoods are so I found one. Oh, yes. Josh had a camera.
I gotta get my back.
We still have 2 presenters.
That's the second presenter. Mark's gonna go first.
We love this.
Oh, there.
Everyone heard you were MC, and that's why they didn't show up today.
Great. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Well, 1 Million Cups friends, we are going to get started today. There is coffee up front, provided graciously by Tony from Comcast. If you haven't met him, it's in the middle of the room there with his lovely wife with the red sweater. So Tony is going to thank for the free coffee and donuts this morning. All right, so we're going to get started. It's about 9 o'clock right now. And my name is Melissa Wilson. If you haven't met me or seen me before, I'm one of the originators of our 1 Million Cups community here. I'm an organizer on the team with quite a few other folks. How many people here are organizers in the room right now? 1, 2, Tony. I think back there we got a Drake Pfeiffer talking. He's organizer. Yeah, just saying hi. Just saying hi. And okay, so we're going to get the program started here. Thank you all for coming to 1 Million Cups today. I see some familiar faces and maybe a new face or two. Who's new to 1 Million Cups? Who's never been to 1 Million Cups before? You guys happen to be sitting at the same table. That's awesome. All right, so for my friends who come here often, I'm going to share a different story maybe that you haven't heard before about 1 Million Cups. And I just want to welcome all of you for to be here and to be able to contribute to what we do here at 1 Million Cups. So because we have a couple new people, we'll share a little bit about the background that way too. Thank you. All right. Now, for everyone in the room, we do have a YouTube community, so hello YouTube. I'm usually on YouTube, so if you're up here at the front and you want to say hi to Melissa, I'm usually on YouTube because now I live in North Carolina. I'm just up here visiting. This happens to be visiting this week. And then we also have a Zoom room. Is there anyone in the Zoom room with us today, Tony?
Yes, there is.
All right.
I'm not Tony, but yes, there is.
Okay, thank you, Darren. Thank you for letting us know. So good morning, Zoom room. We're getting ready to get started here. All right, so welcome to 1 Million Cups. For those of you that don't know, this is a Kauffman Foundation-based program. It's set up to be able to educate, inspire, and connect entrepreneurs nationwide every Wednesday morning. So there are about 125 other 1 Million Cups communities meeting on Wednesday mornings around the United States. Different times, because we're in different time zones, but keep that in mind. So if you're ever traveling, you're on a trip or something, and it's a Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, look up 1 Million Cups. You might be able to find a community that you can pop into and offer support just like you offer support in our community. All right, is everyone signed in on the sign-in pad that's going around? If you have not signed in today, that's very helpful for Incubizo, as well as for us to give numbers to the National Foundation as to how many people were here. Is the iPad floating around?
It's going around.
It's going around. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so this is 1 Million Cups, the program, right? It's a free nationwide program that educates and engages entrepreneurs. So the organizers that I had raised their hands earlier and myself, we are all volunteers. So we all support this program that came out of Kauffman Foundation. Oh, do I need to talk closer? No, right? Do I need to talk like this? Oh, I would prefer to keep it down at about my chin level. Okay, so I'm going to leave this screen up for just a minute, and I'm going to tell you a story that I recently learned about a young man who in his 20s, well actually about a young man who was about 10 years old in the Depression time period, meaning right after the Great Crash in the 1930s. If I could bring you back there for a minute, how lifestyles were in the United States, pretty disparaged. People were not able to really get good hold of food or medicine, and people were just generally really struggling for about 5 or 6 years. So this young man saw that his family was unable to have access to even basic medical care, and so he vowed at a young age that he would try to figure out a way to make sure that medicine was accessible to his family. Fast forward a little bit to about 20 years old, he started working as a salesperson because that's where he realized he had the gift of gab, and that's where he realized he could make a difference by going out and selling the products that he was selling and earning an income to help support his family. So it was no longer going to be on his parents to support his family. Then by the time he turned 22, he had a pretty good income going. He was the #1 salesperson in his company. This is in like the late 30s, early 40s, and he started tinkering in his basement, just like some of you might have done here or in your side room, and started a side hustle to try to figure out the best combination. He was a chemistry hobbyist. The best combination and the most inexpensive way to create some painkillers, like things for just general headaches, general aches and pains, things like that. and inflammation. And he was working with a small team. He would take extra money that he had and have people help him develop these drugs in his basement. So fast forward to age 25 years old, his boss called him into the office at the place he was a salesperson, and they went over the numbers that he was bringing in, and it turned out he was earning more money than his boss. So his boss said, that can't happen, so we're gonna have to let you go. So they let him go, because I guess back in the 40s you could do that, right? Can't do that nowadays. So he took $5,000 that he had saved, and he invested in his basement operation, his entrepreneurship start, running his own business, making his own rules, and creating this pharmaceutical line that he really thought was gonna benefit families on a broad scale to be able to afford this medicine. And that company ended up naming Marion and Company. So $5,000 start in his basement. I'm gonna fast forward now about 20 years to the 1960s. He's starting to become very successful. His medicines are helping people. They're getting distributed around the country. He starts to move nationwide, moving into the 1970s with our main character here. He ends up starting to be seen in the community as someone who is well on his way to be a millionaire. And he starts taking his funds to support entrepreneurs. So he creates, in the 1980s, a course that you can take through his company to learn how to be an entrepreneur. And he did that because he wanted people working for him in his company to be able to do what he did, take their side hustle and become something, right? Out there, try your side hustle. What kind of funding do you need? How can I show you how business structure works? So out of that, by the time we got into the 80s, he had started to have sort of a class happening. So they started programming, started a foundation. And that foundation is called the Kauffman Foundation. The Kauffman Foundation launched in the late 1980s, early 1990s, a program called Fast Track. So their curriculum, their Fast Track curriculum, was set up to give entrepreneurs the baseline needs that they would have to have in order to understand how to get traction and become a solid business, right? So Fast Track, has anyone here heard of Fast Track before? Awesome. I'm going to tell you two things about Fast Track in just a moment, because I'm going to continue with the story. So, 1990s, Kauffman Foundation launches. Their inaugural program is Fast Track. Unfortunately, our hero of the story, Ewing Marion Kauffman, passes away in 1993, but he leaves a huge legacy, and his company is going to be well-funded, not just Marion Company, but Kauffman Foundation, for the next 300 years. So they're one of those nonprofits that never needs to go out to others for money. So it's a very wealthy group, and they try to do good based on businesses were in the workforce. So fast forward to 2012, people that are working at Kauffman Foundation realize that Fast Track is really not glomming on to people enough to change that number, 95%. 95% of all entrepreneurs fail, right? Now, you might be surprised to hear we're at 82%, 82%. But what this small group in the marketing team at Kauffman determined, they figured out a way to sort of meet entrepreneurs where they were, where they are, how we say that all the time nowadays. But in 2012, they started going out in Kansas City, Missouri, to coffee shops. They picked one or two a week, and they would send their team out, and they would look at people working in the coffee shop, and they would say, hey, are you an entrepreneur? Are you working on something? You know, if I gave you 5 minutes with a little bit of an audience, could you tell us, you know, who you are, what problem you're solving, and where you're stuck? And that's how they started to create what 1 Million Cups looks like today. So that 2012, 1 Million Cups became the fourth and final program of the Kauffman Foundation. I know I didn't tell you about the other two. They mainly focus in Kansas City. And 1 Million Cups was born. So 1 Million Cups is a licensed framework that the Kauffman Foundation has put together, which you're going to see in action here today. And our group, our organizing volunteers, our EOS, Entrepreneurial Ecosystem Backer, is Oakland Thrive and sponsor. So Daryl and Drake are representatives of Oakland Thrive here today. Our venue sponsor, which is a key component of being able to run a 1 Million Cups community, is Incubizo. So Josh is around here somewhere, and Carmen is around here somewhere, but if you're looking for a great workspace, that's here. And then we also have coffee sponsors. So today, our coffee sponsor is Tony. Something I was going to tell you about Fast Track, right? I can't remember what it was. So I'll come back to that, but let's move ahead here. I hope this was helpful for you. I know we have 2 new people in the room, right? 2 here at the table. Is there anyone else here that's new? So we have a gift for you. All right. So, would someone here able to pass these out to anyone? Tony, you want to pass these out to the two people at your table and the gentleman over there on his phone? That's you, John, I'm talking to you. All right, so Oakland Thrive here. This is Oakland Thrive and Incubizo. These are the two groups that sort of make us happen the way that we do happen here in Ferndale. This group here is from the summits last summer where Daryl and I both went to learn more about, this is what I'm going to say, about how Fast Track and 1 Million Cups are going to become a national program with Kauffman Foundation. So I know all of you here get this. What they're going to start trying to do is really get these two groups to get to know each other better because they dance, right? If you took a course, a 30-hour, 9-week course on becoming an entrepreneur or doing better in your business, wouldn't you want to weekly show up in a community like this where you can practice talking about what you do and having your problems resolved? Well, this is a perfect dance, we believe. So what you don't see in this picture is behind that group of people is an FT for Fast Track and 1 Million Cups. And so that's what we're doing here now. So I'm launching a virtual class in January, which you'll be able to see on a QR code, just so people can get to know what Fast Track is. Now, if you're going to want to present, you can use this QR code, but after you see our two presenters today, all you need to do is go to 1millioncups.com/present and fill out a couple of questions. Basically, what is your business challenge right now and how can we help you? And then you're well on your way to becoming one of our future presenters. So this is where we have space for presenting. We do two companies like we're going to do today here. So you can see on the 17th, we're doing an end of the year celebration here. It's a pop-up market. January 7th, we have two companies. January 14th, we have space. The 21st, January 28th, we can take two presenters. And on that line, you can see there. All right, coffee sponsor. Tony, if you want to come stand up here with me, this is what it takes to be a coffee sponsor. If you're interested in sponsoring, he's going to be the only person who gets to pitch today. And you just go to DetroitMetro at 1millioncups.com. Let us know that you want to be a coffee sponsor. We'll get you on the schedule. You'll get to pitch like Tony's about to do. You will have to pick up and home too there like you did today, the brewed coffee and the donuts. So thank you for doing that. And then you get to also share what you share with us.
Awesome.
Here you go, Tony.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I got 3 slides. They told me only 3 slides, so I stayed with 3 slides. It's so weird being on this side of the presentation. So good morning. It's such a beautiful day to be able to present. Like she said, I am with Comcast Business. And most of you have probably heard of Comcast, of course. It's a major corporation here in Detroit, you know. But I've been in Detroit area in sales for over 30 years. I did a major stint at Ameritech, SPC, AT&T. So I've been in telecommunications for over 10 years. My wife is here today, my wife of 32 years right there in the front row. So we've got 3 grown boys that we raised in here in Metro Detroit, and none of them live at home, thank God. And so I'm gonna stay into my what I've been told, 5 minutes, 3 slides. And so let me go to slide 2, and I went the other way. So let's go here. I don't know. I wasn't trained. I thought I was a quick steady, but I wasn't. Oh, what's going on? Well, okay, get it back up. Okay, so while she's working on that. Like I said, I've been in telecommunications for over 10 years, been with various organizations. We are Eastsiders. I've been a part of Detroit Parent Network as a board member. I was an LSCO president back in the day. We helped start a charter school here in Ferndale called Edison Oakland Public School Academy. Probably about, 15 years ago, I was a board president. So we've done some really cool things here in Metro Detroit. I've been on the Y Leadership Board, YMCA, with the Y Achievers. And so done a lot in business. I know Fife over here, Drake, we've seen him at really good community events in Metro Detroit over the summer, the last 5 years, so I'm always out enjoying Detroit. And so, this is my second slide. So Comcast, many of you know us for, let's go back to that slide, you know us for business internet. And so The next one, the business internet, it's only 3. You know it's for business internet. So I think people think of Comcast as really like the mainstay for internet, and which we are, but there's a lot of smaller competitors out there that sometimes appear to be just as good. So I always like to ask customers, have you ever been in a business that has had a hack or a cyber attack? By a show of hands. And from a price standpoint, you probably lost some time of productivity. Would you agree? So I always say Comcast, built into our network, is we have features that reduce the chances that you're going to get a cyber attack. We have products that are called Security Edge that are built into our infrastructure to help prevent that. So I always want to let customers know, when you're talking about Comcast, we today are the leader in broadband services. And just a quick trivia question. I heard somebody mention Louisiana. Does anybody know where Comcast was founded at? What city? You would never guess. Comcast was founded in Tupelo, Mississippi. Is that amazing or what? And then in our market, they bought Barton Cable back in 1994. Wow. And then they blew up, as we all know, Comcast today. They really got in broadband from buying the AT&T's broadband service back in the days. And that's why they're competing aggressively with them also. My other trivia question is, have you ever been on the internet and it just went down? Like you're just doing some work and it goes down. Would it be nice to have a wireless backup that kicks in automatically? And so that's one of the features that Comcast has as well. And so I always want to tell customers, so you may be able to go with a company out there that looks like mom, but upside down. You might say, wow, but, and they may be 30% less expensive, but do they have those other features built into their network? So, and then the last thing, and I'm almost done, is what's great about Comcast is we've started offering this thing called digital phones, the voice over IP phones. I think they're amazing. Now, I was in telecom back when you buy a phone system and there was a box on the wall and you bought that box, but now everything's built into the network. So you got cool features where, like, if you're a business owner, you're calling people from your cell phone, but you don't want everybody to know your cell phone. They have it built into the network where it'll display the business phone number and the business name and not your cell number and cell phone. So people like that where you don't have to give your number out to everybody. So as I wrap up, I guess you already see my ask, my plea, my beseech, my beg. I asked if you know anybody who has a brick and mortar business and they're gonna open up really soon, send them my way for a free consultation. My business cards are coming around. There's a stack of them over there. My beautiful assistant is gonna start sending them around, if you don't mind. And then number two, if you know someone who's moving their brick and mortar business, I only work with business customers, but I can help with the move. A lot of times I can hopefully save them some money, but at minimize, I can streamline the process for them. And lastly, if you have a customer or friend who could be interested in internet, digital phones, or mobile phones, then send them my way. I just want to help. A lot of times we can at least give them some free consultation and tell them what's going on in the industry.
All right, thank you.
First slide, right? Your first slide, Mark? Okay. So now here's where the fun part comes. Although that was quite fun. Tony was really personable. Make sure you take a card and thank him for coffee. So Mark, if you'd like to come on up. This is how 1 Million Cups works for our new person in the room. Some of you already are aware of this, but Mark is going to come up and do a 5-minute presentation, basically along what I was sharing with you earlier. Who is he? What does he do? And where is he stuck as a business operator? I don't know why I'm not touching anything. See, it's right here. Somebody go pay attention on the AV side there. Mark's going to come give us a description of what he's doing, and then at the end, he's going to have a community ask for us. And we're a real small room here today, so if you ever have wanted to speak on the microphone but don't, because we usually have 50 or 60 people here, come on up today. Now's your time to come practice and and take a moment, and we do use the microphone purposely because we're recording the YouTube Live for our presenters, and you can hear better on Zoom. So just try it, it's not bad, I tell you, it's not bad. And we're all kind group here. So when he has his community ask, we'll come up and we'll ask you to line up over by the banner here, and then come close so you're in front of this monitor for YouTube. Mark, you want to be in front of the monitor for the Zoom and for the YouTube Live. All right, and here's my microphone.
Thank you. What an honor to be here. Thank you to our online community and for those of us who braved the Michigan slush today. So good to have you. My name is Mark Halls, and I'm from Mercy Education Project in Detroit. All I want for Christmas, we'll get to that in a moment. I run a nonprofit, or a not-for-profit, we like to say, called Mercy Education Project. And our mission is we create a learning community that serves women and girls to position them for success. We've been around for 33 years, but really we're recreating ourselves right now. And that's why I'm here in front of you today. What do? We have women that come to us who are testing in from 2nd to 5th grade level in all their core subjects. We start with adult basic education, we move them into GED preparation, and ultimately to a job. I wrote job there, but I really mean career. Because we want them to find a career that's going to sustain them, that's going to give them upward mobility. For our girls come to us from grades 2 through 12, and they are 2 to 3 grade levels behind in reading and math. We do STEM learning, we do health literacy, we do social emotional learning, but our core project for them is our one-to-one tutoring in reading and math, trying to get them to grade level, trying to get them to college, trying to get them to a career. So we empower women and girls through education. And those pictures there, those are future entrepreneurs, for future business owners. So, challenges, our biggest challenge, we're a best kept secret. I go around, and I'm sure nobody here has ever heard of us, and I go around to other places, nobody's ever heard of us. That's our biggest challenge. Our most immediate challenge, though, is we need volunteers. We need tutors. We have about 80 girls in our girls program and about 135 women in our women's program. We need 80 tutors for our girls program alone, and that's not easy to come by. And it's really for them to give 1 hour a week for Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday in September to May. It sounds simple, but we really struggle in this area. So, what we tried so far, first and foremost, inviting tutors to invite tutors. We think that works the best. We've done social media posts, we've done paid ads, we do testimonials from our tutors. We go to our community partners like DT Energy, PwC, and try to entice them to get some of their workers to come in and to volunteer for us. We also go to local universities. The lessons we've learned so far is that personal invitations work best, and we all know that as business people. Remote workers, we've discovered, don't like driving during rush hour. So since COVID, in the past, we had no problem getting volunteers because there were so many people working downtown. It's coming back, but it's not there yet. And not many people want to drive in from Rochester Hills into Detroit during rush hour for an hour or two. So it's rough. We also find that university students' schedules change. When we get a tutor, we try to keep that tutor for the whole year to build a relationship with our students. Before I started as the executive director, I was a tutor for 7 years, a volunteer tutor. And I was blessed to have the same girl, Angela, from grade 2 through grade 7. And I got to build that relationship with them. I got to be a mentor. And I'll tell you what, this young lady is a successful high school student right now, and I can't wait for her to one day, she's going to own her own business for sure. But university students' schedules change. We realize begging doesn't help. And we realize that we need to do more. So my ask today is, all I want for Christmas are volunteer tutors and no more best kept secrets. And that best kept secret goes along with tutors. The more we can get our name out there, the more opportunities we'll have for tutors to join us. I thank you for this opportunity today, and I look forward to your feedback.
Okay.
So take a screenshot if you think that you can help them, but you're not sure how you can do that now. So grab a screenshot now. And then if we can go back to your question slide there, which is all I need are volunteers, I would push back on that a little bit and say, how do any of us in this room here feel that you would want to volunteer, or do you have a way that he can adjust his messaging in some way to show the benefit of volunteering? Like, come, let's get some creative juices flowing and figure out a way. You want to come on up here? Figure out a way that we can help you say. Because here's what happens, you know, you think you're doing everything right. You're telling everybody exactly the right way. You're telling them, this is it. There's nothing more to share with you. But as the entrepreneur, the business owner, you're like totally invisible to the wall in front of you. So this is what the benefit of being in this room is. We can come and help you to see a little bit past the cloud and maybe give you a different way of thinking about things that you work on. So we have some for a suggestion here. Here you go.
There's a second mic right there too, if you want to grab that one.
So, Mark, I would love to share something that we're doing with a missionary hospital in Africa and how we're gaining and garnering what we're calling a launch team.
Yeah, just look perfect, right there. Yeah.
Right this loud.
Right there. Yeah, we're good.
So, I would invite you to consider having and really developing a leadership team. We're calling it a launch team, and the leaders have an initiative. So we have a call to action, and we're also doing regular celebratory check-ins, things that elevate the leadership. And so the concept for this is that you put in place 3 new tutors in 3 months and spending, 30 minutes a week recruiting. Like, you can put your initiatives to it, and then doing a celebratory and acknowledgement segment so that you're really elevating that leadership and allowing them to both help facilitate new tutors and also become part of their messaging.
Great. Wonderful. I like the idea of the launch team for sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mark, hey, I just want to say that wonderful presentation. I love what you're doing, and my recommendation is to continue to do what you're doing. This just getting out here and being in the pavement and telling the story is awesome. Getting in front of folks. I'm on the board of an organization called the Torch of Wisdom Foundation, based out of Southfield, and we have a similar challenge. And so I don't know the answer to your problem right away, but I want to sit with you. Who is your consultant with Oakland Drive? What city are you located in?
We're in Detroit.
You're in Detroit. Okay, so you're not in Oakland County, so we can't.
A number of our volunteers do come from.
I just want to say, if you were with Oakland Drive, then perhaps we can help you. But why don't we talk offline? I mean, there'll be some things that I would love to put in here, but just to brainstorm up some ideas to really come up with some strategy around how you can attract more folks. But again, it's not easy. But just doing what you're doing now, I wasn't aware of this organization and this opportunity. So you may have one volunteering me. So thank you for coming up here to present.
Thank you.
Today.
Appreciate it.
Hello there. It's definitely sounds like an amazing organization in what you're doing. I'm a marketer. I have an agency, so I think we can all agree that we would all raise our hands and volunteer for something like this. It's great, the women and helping them move forward, but I think there's so much competition. So I'm gonna come at it like very logically from a marketer's point of view and how to getting ahead of your competition. One of the things I think, looking for volunteers, really segment, who are you really looking for? You mentioned universities, so students maybe, but maybe there is like a successful volunteer ideal profile that you have. Focus on that. It could be grandmas, people who have people out of the house, or it could be single couples who do it. You need to talk definitely about the outcomes of volunteering and the benefits, because you said 5:30 to get downtown. Like where are you guys located downtown?
We're at Howard and Trumbull and Corktown.
Okay, so 5:30 to get there. It's going to be difficult for some people, especially coming from the suburbs. I sit on the board for Mosaic Youth Theater, and we struggle too sometimes with volunteers. But if you focus in on the local area for sure, and talk about the outcomes. You're down there on Trumbull. You offer free parking. Is there food involved? For people who come and volunteer. Definitely talk about the commitment of being there all year round. But what happens if something happens? Of course, 1 week you may not be able to volunteer because of life starts to life. What does that mean that to your commitment? Are you okay with that? And then you have people who can kind of come in and pitch in when you're supposed to be there or not. But if you kind of lay out the volunteering experience more, then that might help us getting somebody, and then figure out certain segments if you really want to go after that. So questions.
Wonderful, thank you, appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Adam. Corporate background, lots of great stuff here, lots of good ideas. The question I had is when you talked about reach out to universities, reach out to companies, have you reached out to any professional organizations like Society of Women Engineers or even SAE? I think there may be some opportunities there because those organizations also foster professional development, and I think we can also position this as a professional development opportunity for people to be able to pass their learnings along to younger folks is a way to become better leaders, better men.
Great suggestion, thank you.
All right, good luck.
Hey, Mark, how are you? How much do you reach out to large corporations that actually allow their employees to volunteer in the community on company time?
I would say not enough. We often reach out to those who are donors, supporters, sponsors of us, but we need to reach out to more, likewise with women's organizations.
I know Comcast, AT&T, most of the larger corporations, they have opportunities just like this for their employees. I would suggest reaching out to the HR departments, find out who's responsible for the employee resource groups, and then pitching them because there are a lot of great people. When I worked for AT&T, one of the things that I did is I taught financial literacy through the junior achievement, and that was a fun opportunity. We did it in the mornings, but also I would like to talk to you about volunteering on Tuesdays or Mondays.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Hello, Mark Juwan, business development professional. I have to say I'm into the advice the young lady gave here a moment ago about the fact there's a lot of competition. But the individuals who are going to be the greatest advocates of your program are the people who are working in your program. So that's the first thing I would do. I would literally take the time to almost interview them, survey them, ask questions like why they decided to participate in the program. And then once you are able to kind of begin to put together some characteristics that you see that are going to be consistent across the board, begin to target those individuals in the community. Also, just as Mr. McGinnis just shared, something else that I thought about was sororities. Organizations that are here in the Detroit metropolitan area where it's mission critical, it's part of their core mission to provide these type of services, right? There are civic organizations, where younger people participate in the downtown Detroit metropolitan area that you can engage as well, because they're always looking for ways in which to volunteer. But the one thing that I thought about as I was listening to you, if I had like another 10 minutes, I would just sit down and I would ask you questions about yourself. What motivated you? What's your background? What are your behaviors? Like, what are your habits? Where do you travel? And begin to put together what we would traditionally speak to as like a buyer persona if we were selling a product or a service. Well, if you have a quote-unquote buyer persona in terms of the type of individual who would volunteer for your program, do that deep dive on yourself as well as the individuals that you work with.
Great suggestions, thank you.
Hi Mark, nice to meet you. Name title, I own a company called Anypath, we're a local IT company. And I had two thoughts for you. One's a suggestion and one's more of a question. The first one is, I think in trying to find, the challenge is getting people to your place at the right time. I wonder if there's a way to not only recruit corporate sponsorship that's around town in Detroit, but getting people to maybe stay after work might be a little easier than getting them to commute to you. So I wonder if maybe there's an opportunity to partner with a large corporation that's down there. Maybe this is like Rocky or a Quicken or whoever, and get conference rooms and do sessions remotely where they are and have people stay after work as opposed to coming to you. That might be a way to do that. I don't know if there's some challenges to that happening. And then the other thought that I had was, is there, and I know it's a challenging thing to think about, but is there a way to virtualize this at all? So that comes with certain challenges. Obviously, you're putting children and volunteers, and volunteers that may not be tech savvy and things like that. But if there was a way, you could open this up to a lot more people that'd be willing to go on a video call after work for an hour, as opposed to coming downtown and doing that. Not only that, but you could get volunteers nationwide. So I guess the question would be, have you thought about the virtualization, and is that?
Just to respond to that, we were forced to through COVID to go virtual.
Okay.
And as a tutor that was tutoring at that time before I became executive director, the struggle is the chaos of many of the homes and having the focus of the student when there's several siblings, different languages being spoken within the home.
Sure.
And it becomes a struggle to gain that attention. Before becoming executive director, I was also a teacher in high school, so I taught through COVID. And it's a challenge. Yeah, it's not off the table, but it's a challenge.
Okay. Well, I wonder in that case if there's a way to kind of do a hybrid approach, and maybe have the children come to your environment where it's peaceful and structured, but also do the virtual volunteers on their side so you can get more improvement. And I think if you did a campaign for that, you might be able to get a nationwide audience that might volunteer for an hour a week. I would be one of those people that might do that. And I sit on the board after work for once a month and contribute my time. And if you're in a location that was inconvenient to get to, I don't know that I would have the same goal.
Great, thank you for those great ideas.
Thank you, that's really helpful. That was pretty helpful, right?
That was excellent.
More than you would have expected, I hope.
So many great ideas.
Thank you for the folks that came up and were creative with that. Thank you, Mark, for presenting today. All right, we're going to go to our next presenter. Mark, this is going to be up on YouTube Live, so you'll be able to hear what people were saying to you and the way that they said it. Yes, oh good, wonderful. Okay, Emily, if you'd like to come up. Our second presenter is going to go now. There's one last chance to grab a screenshot of Mark's, and then I'm going to pass you this clicker. Emily. And we might go just a couple minutes long today, so just to give you guys a heads up, remember we do a group picture at the end so that we can put that on the thumbnail for YouTube.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And yes, my kids are in school right now, so I was like asking Grandpa, I was like, can you have a snow day with my kids? All right, so I'm just gonna wait for the slide. Oh, I do this. You do that. I'm gonna wait for myself to do the slide. Okay, so my name is Emily Jacobs. I'm the founder of Empowered Moms. And my first question to you right now is, when you hear the company name Empowered Moms, raise your hand if you think it's just for new moms. Okay, all right. Okay, not so bad. Okay, see, we're not so bad. Okay, that's one of my asks later. So how this company all began is I watched my very vibrant mother deteriorate over the years, saying, I gave up my life for my kids, it's just what you do. But watching that, I actually watched her give up on herself. And it's really hard as a little girl to watch that. So I decided to make something that I needed and I wanted it when I became a mom. Going backwards a little bit, I spent 20 years in nursing. I resigned from some toxicities there. And in 2022, I started coaching hundreds of burnt out healthcare workers who were lacking boundaries. Also things I learned in my household as a child. I then wrote a book called Live Your Life for You, Not Your Mom, which is not a mom bashing book. I'm a mom, I wouldn't do that, but it's telling the stories of being a people-pleasing perfectionist and trying to make my mom happy and attaching my worth to that. So then what I did is in 2023, I created what I needed, which is a community and company called Empowered Moms, where we do, it's a free community. We have 1,100 women in our free community, a high-level mentorship program, a local annual conference, and then myself, I do one-on-one leadership coaching, keynote speaking, and workshops. What makes us different is essentially just combining the emotional support that moms need, leadership development if they're looking to start something new. A lot of the moms in our groups will say, I just want something for myself. I'm looking for another purpose, and it's not against motherhood, it's more in addition to. So a lot of them are feeling guilty about that. So we do real tools, real healing, real transformations, and then strategies and some science, content backed by science. We've grown really fast in the first couple of years, and now our biggest challenge is how do we scale this strategically that makes sense going into our third year. The founder, myself, is doing all the roles still. I have outsourced, but that's another challenge. And then my question why I asked that was, Empowered Moms implies new moms. So I've heard this before, but not all of you raised your hands. So I maybe want to ask for that feedback. Why didn't you raise your hands? Because it's not just for new moms, it's for everybody that is ready to keep dreaming after motherhood and ready to kind of light that fire back inside of them. So it doesn't matter how old you are. We have lots of seasons of mothers. and then how to make it more inclusive. So needing clarity on that brand structure without changing the names. I've had some other network companies or groups that were like, maybe change the name. I was like, no, that's not the answer for me. Obviously, no. And long-term scalability. What we've tried so far is I did in the first year started a low-level mentorship program. Membership, where people could pay just like a small kind of fee and get some resources. I poured way too much into that, so then I changed it into a high-level mentorship. We continue to grow our free community. And we've built our high-level mentorship program we only open the doors once a year. So I know that maybe that's a possibility there too. And our annual conference are really, really popular and really strong, and we have really strong brand visibility, which I didn't show you in this past slide really quick, but we had 30 sponsors last year in our third year.
Wow.
I actually had to create sponsorships with companies called me and said, oh, I want to be a part of this. I'm like, I'll figure it out. How much do you want to pay? Like, how many tickets do you want? So that, we've also done no paid advertising. So this is all kind of word of mouth and then just organic growth. Lessons learned, I think the biggest one is, what didn't work for me as the founder at the time was pouring too much value into a low-level membership. Maybe having unclear brand lanes where I do coaching and speaking and all of that, and then Empowered Moms is more of a community. So I'm trying to separate myself so that I can do more of where my zone of genius is, and then the actual scaling strategy. Like, where do I take this? What do moms really need? And then financially, how do I scale that? So what you can do for me, I'm looking for leaders who have maybe scaled a community-based brand and kept it financially stable and collaborating ideas to turn our momentum into that kind of a year-round impact, where I'm not just having an event launch and then a mentorship launch, and then that's pretty much our two big things. So then what do I do the rest of the year? And then brand identity, which was kind of clarifying, is this, Empowered Moms for the Mom 2.0, so that way every mom kind of feels like they belong, or is it are they just feeling like Empowered Moms is for that new mom, I don't really need that anymore, and so it's really an inclusive group for all women too.
All right.
And that's it.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I put our QR code up here for the website. Really quick too, I think you were saying I could say that because anyone can join our free community. So you'll be the first to know of our events. We have a Facebook group as well, and what else? Just kind of everything that's going on with Empowered Moms. And then those are my contact information.
Yeah, so she's looking to grow. Looking to grow, but strategically in an organized way. So is there anyone here who's had an experience just prior to growing, or is in a position that she's in where her events are very successful and she has a one-on-one client part that's very successful, but she just needs to make more impact? So do you have any thoughts or suggestions? Yay, Carmen!
Hello, hi.
Good, how are you?
Good. So I'm a mom, I have a 4-year-old, and also was a caretaker for my mom.
Okay.
So when you asked, what do these women need, it's more, I would say that we need more than like a pep rally.
Right.
We need the resources. So like a babysitter, a caretaker to step in. So maybe the collaboration ideas are partnering with like Honey for Moms, where it's like a workspace where you can bring your kid and everybody is okay with kids being in space, things like that.
Yeah.
Or, providing childcare at your conferences so that that isn't a barrier for people, but like the actual resources and not just paths to them, like call Oakland County, they'll help. Like there's a lot of those really vague resources out there, but if you're able to connect them directly with those services and people, maybe that, I would pay for that. Like I would pay some subscription to be in a nanny share. 100%, just so that I could be a human. And 4 years into motherhood, I'm just now figuring out that I'm a person as well.
Right.
And for others, it takes longer. But I'm ready to like be in the world.
Yeah.
But the barriers are things like, how much does it cost? Where is it? Do I have a sitter? I'm sick. Do I still have a sitter? Things like that. So I don't know. That was my thought for like collaboration and. I don't know.
It sounds great. No, thank you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying too, is we definitely do more of our high level like mentorship is helping you like set kind of healthy boundaries for you, take good care of yourself, which a lot of moms, we forget, you know, a lot of people, we do too. And then, but you're saying the actual tangible resource of connecting people with like even those co-working spaces or things like that. Okay. Awesome, amazing. Yeah.
Hi, Emily. Thank you so much for your work. My name is John Coral, private sector
You gotta
sales.
move in some.
Oh, yes. John Coral, private sector sales. Thank you so much for being here and the work that you do. I remember that kind of fraught time and everything as people becoming a new parent. So one of the things that were very helpful to us was at the time, Beaumont Corwell ran a bunch of workshops run by a social worker for new parents. So it was called like the new family or baby, we called it baby.
I actually do that for Cornwall too.
Okay, all right.
Cool.
Well, then
That's one.
you're
Yes.
already there, but
Yes.
there are other health systems as well, like Trinity, and they may run similar programs.
Okay.
But you know, the nice thing with what you're offering is just an additional support, and it's there's no cost for that. So I feel like if you said, yeah, but we charge a fee, you know, Henry Ford might be like, oh, that's nice, but you're offering that support to that community. So maybe, you know, you could get with the different, we call them baby group programs, at different health systems, and just include that in the packet. Hey, we've got these resources, the social worker is there connecting resources, but you could be one of the suggested resources, and then routinely, every baby group forming under that social worker at Henry Ford, at Trinity, at wherever across all of Metro Detroit would kind of have you as a suggested resource, because that's a very, you said you're not just for new moms, but that is a really fraught and scary time, and any resource is helpful, so you make it some good connection with that way.
Actually, thank you. So I actually do something similar at Corwell. I've been doing that for a couple of years. It's called Working Moms Wellbeing. But I will definitely consider reaching out to other hospitals for myself personally, but thank you.
Hello, how are we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, ironically enough, I just had this conversation last weekend.
Okay.
Right? So, she's new to motherhood. I've been a father. She is adapting to what it is to be involved with someone that has children.
Okay.
And a lot of things that you shared like really resonated with me in terms of conversations that we're having. And what I want to do is kind of almost iterate a little bit more of what Carmen shared, right? Any type of resources that you can provide to individuals, not just material things, right? But I thought about like some of the psychological and emotional, I wouldn't call it stress, but challenges she had when we initially began dating and seeing each other develop in a relationship. And if you can provide those type of resources, like partner with other service providers that do those things, that could be a huge value add, right? I'm gonna assume that you're probably doing book of the month clubs and things like that, right?
No. Yeah.
Okay. So something I did early on is I purchased several books, and I referred her to those books. And those books inspired her to engage more and helped her with the transition. And then I looked up one day and she started sharing it with other mothers.
Yeah.
And now she's a little small book club in our community. I mean, we literally just moved into the community. She's initiated a book club with these books that helped her with that. That creates stickiness, that creates relationships, that creates more of a familial bond. Now there's another idea, and I did not know that I wanted to give it to you.
What's that?
I was like, man, I shouldn't tell her this. But there's a book out there by Jack Canfield called Success Principles.
Okay.
And there's an annual event where people show up as their best selves, right? They show up as their self 3 years from now, right? Whether it be they want to be millionaires, whether or not they want to be musicians, whether or not they want to be creative, whether or not they want to be artists, painters, skiers, whatever the case may be. But the entire event is dedicated to people showing up as their best selves.
I can take this idea.
So,
Next event.
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about how to organize the event, that event has worked wonders for my sales organization and a lot of the other relationships I have. We do it once per year, and we created like almost a community on Discord where people can show up and hold each other accountable and say, you said you're going to do this 3 years from now. You You said you would be at this place 3 years from now. They continue to interact, and that creates that, once again, that stickiness, right? Where it's not always about the business,
Right.
but about those personal relationships. And I think an annual event like that would really serve you.
Okay, yeah, it's, our annual event's similar, but it's not called that. And it's not like show up that way, but we're hoping they walk away like that. Like now they've developed some plans and they've had some people there to be accountable. And then our high-level mentorship program dives into that mindset, the emotional support and business support, whatever that person needs. But it's very similar to that. But no, we don't do anything else other than those two experiences, like not a book club or otherwise our Facebook group is a place for resources. Like I'm looking for this connection and then we try to connect people. But other than that, yeah, we haven't taken it off and done something in the middle where.
Create that stickiness.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Where
do.
people develop those lifelong friendships.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to get people to engage each other in that way
Okay.
will build your brand. And of course, you know, women are the networkers.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Once they have that, they'll tell everyone about it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, celebrate your success in advance.
Thank you. Okay, okay. Like that.
Hello there. I know we talk.
We do, we talk.
Yes, we talk. It's been a joy working with Emily. I was just thinking about it. Number 2, your collaboration to build momentum. And I know we talked about this.
Yeah.
But you mentioned your annual conference, which I think is great. You put up like you're getting sponsors. You had to create spots for sponsors. Definitely take that and let's look at that year round. Sponsors, not only they sponsor the annual event, but how can they get into your community and maybe they actually go in a month?
Yeah.
And they can help build the impact. Because remember we talked, not you.
Right.
Yeah, somebody else is doing it.
Right.
So the sponsor can own that month and have them bring what they need to do to kind of help with their business, but also it just provides more momentum into the community.
Yeah, so find ways to leverage the people that want to be involved that are actually
Yeah,
paying.
already involved.
Yeah,
They're already
paying, and then figure out how do I keep that going all year.
Yeah. So they're
Maybe
brought
it's
together,
better,
and then maybe there's a VIP tier.
Yeah.
Where like you sponsor this one event, but then you can also come in and do things in my community throughout the year.
Or we advertise them,
Yeah.
you know, okay. Leverage what's working.
Yeah.
I love it, thank you.
Good morning.
Hi.
I'm not a mom.
Okay, I figured. You probably know one.
I have one at home.
Oh, you do, okay.
I was going to talk about the idea of what Corwell does.
Yeah.
Because we had twins. They had a lot of health challenges. So that group of people who have kids that are born with disabilities. I know Corwell used to have a program. I don't know if they still have that program or not, but there are quite a few challenges. One thing we found out by being involved with this program is that the divorce rate for families, children with disabilities, is around 75 to 80%. So those moms need a lot of help.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna be in contact with the hospitals, different health systems, that's one of the questions is who handles this type of program in your organization? If you don't have something, I'd like to talk about maybe bringing something in-house or maybe referring people to our program to help these moms who really, really need. That is a lot of stress on people.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, a lot of the women that we work with, in general, whether they're going through that or something else, they feel alone.
Yes.
And then especially if you want to have a little dream and you're a mom, you feel really guilty about putting something back into yourself. And so it's helping them, one, not feel alone and not guilty, and then two, getting them around when you're talking about book clubs and other things, like like-minded women that are like, we got you, we can support you. So yeah, you're giving me some ideas to reach back out into health systems.
And my last thought was Mark's organization. I would imagine there were probably young women who have children who, in their early 20s, who maybe are struggling, maybe don't have a good parent structure to support them. Organizations like his might be a good place to start to engage people as well. It's just my suggestion.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
My wife and I, we went through just a couple of years, her mom was cancer. So I totally this resonates quite a bit. My offer more so to look at when you talk about scaling, it sounds like focusing very much on the front end of things, where you're getting more others in place.
Yeah.
Where when you look to scale, also think about the back end processes of just CRMs and managing the messaging of communities. You know, where there's some systems that you can set up where you're running the whole thing with yourself right now.
Yeah.
We've scaled up businesses and solopreneurs also to where we end up saving sometimes $1,000 a month.
Okay.
Just the automation of things. So we sit down and chat and just to see how your workflow is.
Sure.
So we give advice where you're at.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. That's great.
All right.
Is there any last minute folks that want to come up and help Emily with her questions? No? Okay, well, Emily, thank you so much for making time for this today. Thank all of you for being here. 1 Million Cups, your expertise is invaluable, as you can see. Like, it's your own creative juices flowing. You can kind of pick up on what other people are experiencing that might be very similar to yours. And Daryl, I really love that last suggestion of maybe partnering with Mark in some way, just having a conversation to see if their audiences have crossover, because building that strength and lifting each other up together is gold, right? So let's see what we've got left here on the slides. Next week we have a pop-up market here. You'll see this in our social feeds. So anyone who has presented at 1 Million Cups in some way, product, or even been a coffee sponsor with a product, they have been invited to be here in this room as a pop-up market. What are the hours for this, Carmen?
8:30 till noon.
8:30 to noon. So 8:30 to noon. So you'll be shopping here amongst your 1 Million Cups community. So invite friends to come next week. It'll be a little bit different. We'll probably do a short intro type show. And
Maybe.
let people know what 1 Million Cups are that might be new showing up here, and that might be maybe 5 minutes, and then the rest of it will be shopping. I don't know. It's up to them. I'll be in North Carolina. All right. So make sure you come to the pop-up market, or if you see it on your social feeds, just pass it along for us on behalf of your community. And then lastly, almost lastly, I'm offering a Pathway X Fast Track course that starts in January. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be 10 weeks long, 1 day a week, Monday nights, with open classroom coaching on Wednesdays. So I know it's a kind of a pitch here, but what I'm trying to help our community start to feel and understand is that we will have a 1 Million Cups and Fast Track embedded community here probably in the next year. And so even though I'm far away, I'm going to try and help start to get us walking towards that path. So if you're interested in learning more, today at 11 a.m., I'll be on Zoom and in this room to answer any questions you might have about fast track courses, or even becoming certified yourself to facilitate fast track classes for this community. Daryl actually recently is certified and part of Pathway X, yes, to teach fast tracks. So this will be the crossover that we'll start to be doing. All right, our televisions here have specific support for you all, so if you're hanging out in the room, make sure you check those QR codes on the TVs in the space. We have until about 10:30 here in this room until we need to quiet it down if we're doing some networking. But because you're here with 1 Million Cups, Carmen, they can still stay for the day and work here in the building. This is the common space, and there are a few places upstairs. And now we're going to do a group photo. And if you wanted to see your group photo from the past, if you don't go to YouTube and look on the thumbnail, you can hit that QR code and see that list. All right, is that it?
That's it. That's it.
All right, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for coming. I think Carmen's going to take the microphone, so thank you everyone.
Okay, because we are a small group, I think we can do this together. Throw it back to like 4 months ago and walk up to the front. So go ahead and stand up and walk towards this way. Please. It will be painless, it will be quick.
You're all the way in the back.
We used to do this all the time, but then 70 people, it was rough. It was